Yo, what up, my marshmallow mother? 3 Five Nights at Freddy's Horror Stories animated. Subscribe to my Twitch. I stream Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and stuff like that. And I do Saturday and Sunday, if I want to. And yeah, do it now. Transition. Dude. Not while I'm eating, bro. Back up.
To the people that are fans of Five Nights at Freddy's, the fact that their favorite game could be based on a real tragic event is a little more than a myth. One possibility for the origin of the story out of many others. It's just another edgy piece of the lore, something to dismiss as a made-up connection. I only learned the details of the game because my son is super into it. We talk about games together as a way of bonding. Otherwise, I never would have played it. However, once I realized that Freddy Fazbear's is obviously a mimic of Chuck E. Cheese, I started listening. And once I got the full story, I was convinced that the whole thing is based on something I experienced. Way back in 1993, I was working at Chuck E. Cheese. It was my crappy part-time job in college where I always got stuck working the late shift. Between the lifeless lighting, the uncanny animatronics, and the weird families.
Since when the hell was Chuck E. Cheese that fucking black? That nigga's pale and white as snow. Why the fuck does he have a skin complexion? And what's up with this ugly ass little kid and this crackhead in the fucking place? See, that's how I know I wouldn't have even worked at this joint, my nigga. What are you talking about?
I was always creeped out. However, the thing that would put me most on edge was a coworker of mine who we called Nate. Nate was one of those guys that always seemed
What the fuck? What the fuck? What? Nah, what the fuck? What the f, bro? What's he about to say about Nate, bro? What's he about to say about Nate? What did I do, bro?
Nate was one of those guys that always seemed angry about something. Every time he looked at me, it was like I just kicked his dog or something. And whenever we were around each other, he would harass me. Whether it was splashing dirty dishwater in my face or throwing me under the bus for something he did, he always made my shift 10 times worse. Plus, he got into arguments with the managers every day because he was always late with a BS
That's gotta be
excuse.
Corey right there on the left.
Aside from the incident, the most psychotic stunt he ever pulled was already heinous. He had just spent 45 minutes in the bathroom supposedly deep cleaning it. I went in there right after to take a dump while on my break, and he had clearly not done a single thing. What's worse, when I sat down on the toilet, I felt something drip on my head. I looked up and saw an entire turd stuck to the ceiling.
That nigga flung shit at the roof? What is up with this nigga? This nigga took a shit in his hand and threw it up to the roof? Wait. So you're telling me this nigga just straight up was like, man, f this job. And then threw his up on the roof and stuck it there and then left? Bro, he got boo-boo fingers now, bro. That shit is disgusting, bro.
I flipped out and reported it to my manager. They logically suspected it was Nate's doing, but he never fessed up to it, and there was no way of proving it. Just from the look on his face, though, I know he did it. Probably as some sick joke, or maybe just because he was sick in the head. Even after he got away with throwing his poop, he held a grudge against me for reporting him. The next night, Nate and I worked. We got stuck late after close cleaning up after a busy day. At some point, Nate disappeared, but that wasn't unusual. A few minutes later, while I was sweeping around the stage area, I was walking by one of the big Chuck E. Cheese suits, when all of a sudden, it grabbed me. I punched the head of the suit right off.
Damn!
Who else was wearing it but Nate? Laughing like he was some sort of comedic genius. Both me and Nate got sent home early over the commotion. The managers must have had a talk afterwards, because the next day...
You know this nigga is bad, but regardless, you're the one getting in trouble for it. Like, you purposely let this nigga get you in trouble. No. This nigga, Corey Kenshin, yo, Corey, you on some shit, bro. Ain't you played Five Nights at Freddy's? Isn't that the main thing that got your channel up in the first place? Why the f are you firing or putting this, sending that nigga laid out when he's the one that put on the suit? And is this nigga the Flash or some shit? Black Kid Flash? He's this nigga, right? Yeah, this nigga. That's him. That's him right there. How the fuck did this nigga get in that suit that fucking quick?
As soon as Nate showed up for work, the owner fired him on the spot. Of course, Nate flipped his lid and screamed his head off at the entire store. He almost started a fist fight, but then somebody yelled that they were calling the cops, and Nate finally stopped throwing a tantrum and stormed out, slamming the door so hard it cracked the glass. After that, it seemed like I was free from Nate's constant tormenting. For a glorious few months, that was the case, until he showed up again. I was working at the food bar when I spotted Nate staring at me from across the restaurant. He was pretending to play an arcade game, but the entire time he was glaring right at me. I tried to ignore it, but he was stalking the restaurant for hours.
Nigga, as if you weren't trying to make it obvious the first time. Now this nigga is on nigga standing on 2 toes, staring at this nigga straight through the window. First he tried to go in the back and make it not look obvious. Now this nigga's over here straight up staring at him, looking at him like this, and all this nigga can do is look away.
And every time I looked over at him, he was already looking at me. Then, he came up to me in order to shake, and he was just as antagonistic as he always was.
This better be perfect, you hear me? If you're gonna steal my job, you better be good at it.
Nate, you never even worked front of house. You never made shakes.
Shut up! How would you like to get fired over some bull crap?
I had to roll my eyes and sigh, but I was hiding the fact that I was scared. There was something even more unhinged about him then. Eventually I went on break, and like usual, my first move was to go to the bathroom for a long dump. I soon realized I wasn't alone in the bathroom. There was someone in the stall next to me, laughing like a psycho. I recognized that voice. It wasn't just any creep. It was Nate. Every day I spent working with him came rushing back, and I was suddenly terrified of being alone with him.
Nate whispers in your ear, I'm here to talk to you about your car's extended warranty. This is the last nigga I want to talk about my car's extended warranty.
I didn't make a sound. I was glad he left the bathroom after a bit, and I breathed a sigh of relief, knowing I could get back to business as usual, except there was nothing usual about that day. A few minutes later,
Did you hear his slap? Did he just beat his shit? Yo, you heard that, right? Yo, he went crazy for a second. He smacked the shit out of his dangling.
Usual, except there was nothing usual
Listen.
about that day.
The f was that?
Knowing I could get back to business as usual, except there was nothing usual about that day.
This nigga beating his shit, bro. He either throwing shit on the roof or he's beating his shit.
A few minutes later, I heard a loud pop from the restaurant, followed by screaming. The hairs on the back of my neck stood up, but I wanted to convince myself it was just balloons popping. But then I heard it again and again and again.
He's beating his shit! Oh, hell nah. You gotta get out the stall with this nigga, bro. This nigga's making thunderclap sounds with his shit. Are you serious, bro? Bro's shooting up the Chuck E. Cheese.
Again. Despite this, I continued to delude myself into thinking it was just balloons, and I stayed put. Out of nowhere, somebody burst into the bathroom. I watched their legs as they walked up to my door.
It smells like shit! What the hell did you eat?
What the f? Why did he come up in his stall to say that shit? As if the nigga's not vulnerable already. Why are you coming up to him talking about his own feces, bro? Holy shit, this is hilarious.
Kicked the door with full force.
What do you want? Stop it!
Despite my pleas, they continued to kick the stall. I knew they would break it down before long, so I
Relax.
panicked and reached into the toilet bowl.
Whoa!
The log I just laid and lobbed it over the door.
What? Out of all the things he could have done, he reached out. Nigga could have opened the door, dead ass. He could have opened that door and just fucking punched him or some shit. He's done it before when he was in that fucking suit. And this nigga decided to lob shit at him. What is up with this dude's hairline? He got a dickhead. Whatever, bro.
Everything is brown! You stupid idiot!
I must have nailed him right in the face, because it was enough to get him to leave me alone. Afterwards, I finished up and cleaned off my hands, then left the bathroom to go back to work. Unfortunately, once I stepped back into the restaurant, I saw nothing but catastrophe. People were either hiding under tables and chairs or laid out on the floor. I had no idea what was going on, but it had been going on the whole time I was in the bathroom. Nate did all of it, and had just left, but the cops were just showing up. Later, I found out that Nate sought revenge for getting fired and came back to take it out on a few employees. He was arrested not long after at his mother's apartment. I was lucky to be in the bathroom when he did it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be alive right now. Knowing all this, and from what I've been told about Five Nights at Freddy's, the parallels are just uncanny to me. I believe this is what the story of the game is
Nigga,
based
that has
on.
nothing to do with Five Nights at Freddy's, bro. Like,
The story was inspired by a tragic incident that most people believe to be the origin of the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise.
okay, this is a news story. That shit confused me for a second. Stop.
It was an incident that happened in 1993 when a man named Nathan Dunlap.
Why the fuck is all their names Nathan? God damn it, dude. Look at this nigga. He's ugly as shit. He don't even look like me. Move on, bro.
A former employee of the Chuck E. Cheese restaurant, was frustrated about being fired 5 months prior. His revengeful attack left a total of 4 deceased and 1 critically injured. The correlation behind the incident in Five Nights at Freddy's is that there had been many underlying resemblances, like for instance the Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria's resemblance to Chuck E. Cheese, and how the setting of the game encompasses the year of the crime, 1993. There are many more similarities to the victims and the characters in the game itself online, but here was just a handful that summarized the deadly events.
What? Alright, I'm done with this fucking video, y'all. Y'all can have it. But if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to cook up that like button and roast that subscribe button like some more. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Alright, guys. I'll see y'all then. Mwah.